everyone wants to blame the car. Oh, you should have seen me. Brother, you were doing 40 miles an hour in the bike lane. Cover all your bases financially, because you are putting yourself at financial risk by riding an electric unicycle. If you don't have good health insurance, please don't ride electric unicycles. All right, so I have been riding electric unicycles for the better part of about 5 years now. And over the course of 5 years, I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot, and things have really changed for me in the electric unicycle game over time. I think this is a video that a lot of people can probably relate to. Just kind of talking about how your attitude and like your mindset changes when it comes to riding. First of all, if you asked me 5 years ago if you thought I would be riding a unicycle over 40 miles an hour in the street with cars, I'd probably called you a lunatic. But now I'm doing it, maybe not daily, but at least weekly. And it's funny, over the course of those years of growth, right? You go from starting off on a little unicycle to getting a bigger unicycle to wanting to go faster, to wanting to go further, to being really limited by the machine's capabilities eventually, right? Like now I'm kind of at the point where I can't buy the unicycle that I wish I could buy. I wish I had, a unicycle with way more range, with even more zip and acceleration, and maybe not necessarily more speed, but maybe more top speed to just have the buffer there. And I just thought it was interesting to kind of just talk about how as you continue to ride, as you get more skilled with the wheel, as you start riding faster, further, as you have specifically humbling experiences on a unicycle, right? I think anybody who's ridden for a long time will know you kind of go through these cycles where maybe you go a little bit faster, you accelerate a little bit harder, you take a few more chances, and then you get humbled by something, whether it's a near miss or an actual accident. Something happens that kind of gets you to slow down a little bit for a little while. And I've gone through a couple of those phases over the past couple of years here as I've continued to grow and ride more and more. I've had my share of accidents, my share of very near misses. I just think it's really important to remember how vulnerable we are when we're riding these machines. Maybe you'll notice that I started wearing this body armor. I never actually wore body armor until very recently. And it didn't happen because of any near miss or any incident. I just kind of came to the realization that as I'm riding these days, I find myself riding fast, real fast, way too often, especially out in the middle of traffic, out in the middle of the street, doing 45, touching 50 miles an hour on an electric unicycle with one wheel. And I'm starting to get a little bit older, as many of us are who have been riding these machines for a while. Your risk tolerance starts to go down. And I might not be necessarily changing the way that I ride. If anything, I'm changing to be more risky as opposed to more risk adverse. But my conscious knowledge that eventually something's going to go wrong is growing in the back of my head. It's a feeling that you can't shake. Eventually, you have to kind of come to terms with it as you ride these vehicles. Someday at some point in time, I'm going to take a tumble, and it's going to be a bad tumble. As far as, not necessarily that I'm going to get hurt, but it's going to be at speed. That's one thing. I've never really fallen faster than maybe 30 miles an hour, right? I've gone down one time good at 30, 35, something like that. But above that 30, 35 mile an hour threshold, I've never taken a tumble. And honestly, if you've been riding these machines, you can tell the inertia difference between 30 and 40. It's dramatic. I mean, you can just feel it in your bones. Like, you can just literally feel the visceral change in your body. Like, your hairs get a little pringly. Just a sense that you get, that like, whoa, I kind of just stepped up a whole danger level here from when I was just doing, this guy ain't stopping. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. But you can literally just, you just feel it. It's something deep inside of you that knows that even though maybe on paper it's only 10-mile-an-hour difference, there's a very big difference. And the math tells you that, right? If you do the math for how much force is going to be generated between a 30 and a 40-mile-an-hour crash, ooh, that 40-mile-an-hour crash is significantly more impactful. You know, so I've started kind of taking some precautions, as, at the very least, wearing, you know, this body armor. I feel like if I do go down, hopefully this will at least protect me on some of the skin rash and maybe on an impact, who knows. And despite the fact that maybe I don't fear riding the wheel without a helmet, you can see usually when I'm filming, I don't ride a helmet. Granted, I'm going pretty slow in these videos. I do tend to bring it with me, even if I know I'm not going to be riding fast, because chances are I'm going to be riding fast. I wanted to just make this video just to kind of talk about the precautions that we should all be taking when we ride these unicycles, right? Especially as you get older. If you've got a family, if you've got anybody who depends on you or relies on you to provide for them. Number one, make sure you've got health insurance. If you don't have good health insurance, please don't ride electric unicycles. Like, it's just a stupid decision to make if you're going to try and ride these things, especially fast. Like, it's one thing to be riding 20 miles an hour, but if you're doing 40 miles an hour in traffic and you don't have good health insurance, I mean, you're just an idiot. You know, and with that said, if you have the options at work, maybe look into something like accidental insurance, right? I have accidental injury insurance through my employer, which will cover me in the event of a major injury. It would pay for, you know, medical costs and missing time off work. I mean, God forbid, you also, hey, how's it going, bud? God forbid, maybe look into a life insurance policy. Just cover all your bases financially, because you are putting yourself at financial risk by riding an electric unicycle, whether you acknowledge that or not. Like, you do have to realize that eventually those medical bills could be crippling, and if you have people that rely on you, you really do need to protect yourself, at the very least, not only physically but financially. You know, and then the other thing I just wanted to throw out there, I'm sure it's just going to be ignored by most of you, but how you ride. I see just way too many people making stupid riding decisions. And sure, it looks cool on the camera, but man, one of these days it's not going to work out for you. You know, I would say the two biggest ones I see are riding too fast in bike lanes. If you're in a bike lane, ride bike speeds. These cars, man, I'll tell you, most of my close calls, when it's come to me almost actually getting struck by a car, almost every time it's been because I've been on the side of the road and I'm letting these cars pass me, or because a car that's pulling out of a driveway or parking lot, whatever, doesn't see me or just thinks I'm not going that fast. Almost every time, guys, like, those are the most dangerous positions you can put yourself in, is where you're letting cars pass you, or if you're not in the middle of the road so you don't look like a vehicle. If you just look like you're a bike, you should go bike speed. I'm talking 10, 15 miles an hour, right? Any faster than that, man, I can't tell you how many videos there are online of guys doing 30, 40 miles an hour in the side of the road in a bike lane and just getting walloped, or nearly getting walloped anyways, by a car. And then everyone wants to blame the car. Oh, you should have seen me. Brother, you were doing 40 miles an hour in the bike lane. No sane human being would have thought to look twice and be like, oh, is that guy doing 40 in the bike lane? Like, come on. You're doing vehicle speeds. You ride in vehicle lanes, which is the middle of the road. You know, and then the weaving in and out of traffic. It's just dumb riding decisions, guys, right? Like, not only are you putting yourself at risk of being on the radar of your local police and law enforcement, which you don't want to be, right? For the most part, police seem to leave us alone. They don't really give a crap. They see that we're older guys, not causing any trouble. They just let us do our thing. Don't ruin it. But you're also, I mean, you're talking one person just decides to switch lanes. One person turns without his blinker on. Somebody something decides, hey, and you're getting whacked. And that's not going to be pretty, because if you're dodging in and out of traffic, you're probably riding really fast. And there's probably a bunch of cars around you that aren't going to be able to stop in time. I mean, you are putting yourself in mortal peril. And again, I'm sure, you know, it looks great on camera. It looks great for the film, but man, just be careful out there, guys. Like, after riding these things for a couple of years, you've really got to give them respect. You've got to learn that respect. And if you haven't earned that respect yet, you're setting yourself up for failure. Anyways, guys, I'm heading down into the city here. As you can see, I'm kind of in some traffic. I'm going to be getting onto some busier roads. I want to put my helmet on, so I'm going to stop filming. But I just wanted to give that little shout out to you guys of like, hey, just be careful out there, you know? I want to make sure everybody keeps riding these things for years to come, and it's not last thing we want to see is a headline or a news story about what happened to somebody. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Be on the lookout for some more stuff coming your way. I'll catch you on the next ride. See ya.